Hey, it's Sean Havens. Everybody has a story, and I wanted to tell you how my journey started, and that starts with my story, because I think it's important that you know who I am and how I came upon this insurance career, and now what I'm offering to you and to all agents in the business. My story started similar to this setting here when I was 5 years old, and from 5 to 18, I played baseball. That was everything that I wanted to do. I was good at it, and I was on my way to go into college, and I had something hit me like a ton of bricks in my life. And that was, I found out that I was having a child. Now, it was very bittersweet because I did have a lot of excitement going on knowing that, hey, I was going to have a child. But on the other side of that, I realized that my baseball career was abruptly coming to an end. So that's where my insurance career started. I don't know if anybody grows up thinking, hey, I want to be an insurance agent. But for me, I could use some of my tools that I learned in baseball to my insurance career. So when I started, I was competitive, and that was my edge. So I sat down at 19 years old, and the specific market that I was in was seniors. The senior market, retirement, and now I'm 19 years old, and I have to go and I have to tell seniors how to plan for their retirement. So I sat down at a cubicle calling cold calls, probably like a lot of people do when they start. It sucked, but I was up for the challenge. For 6 to 8 months, I sat down and I just went name by name going through calling those cold calls, just setting up my day where I was out running appointments 2 to 3 days a week. And I did well. But after 6 to 8 months, I started thinking to myself, this is not a good system. I wasn't seeing enough people. So at that point, I decided there's got to be a way that I can leverage my time, get out in the field 5 days a week, because I was writing business. I was making about $5,000 or $6,000 a month at that time, at 19 years old. So I decided I wanted to hire an appointment setter. And an appointment setter was going to allow me to get out in the field, and they were going to do what I was doing in the office. So I just thought, hey, let somebody else do what they do best on the phone, and let me do what I do best in the field, talking to people, making sales. So I found myself shortly after that in the field, running appointments 5 days a week, anywhere from 4 to 6 appointments every day. Now, this was before there was a do not call, and we could just call everybody on the list, right? So soon after that, I found myself at the leaderboard, the top of the board in the office. And I was working for a company, a captive company, Bankers Life and Casualty at the time. And they had great products, but they were captive. So I went on to make those 6 figures. I went on to bonus every quarter, make their conventions, go on cruises, all the wonderful things that this insurance career has to offer. So I find myself years down the road wanting status now. I wanted to run a branch. I wanted to own this system or this local office. So when I was 28 years old, the opportunity presented itself. And when it did, when I was offered an office in Mesa, Arizona, with a nice guarantee, plus bonuses, plus an expense account, I started to think, and this is when it first hit me. I look back and I noticed the turnover. I noticed how many agents were coming in and out of the business, spending their time getting their license, spending their money. And I realized that 90% of agents at that point were failing. And that bothered me very much. So me doing trainings and me going out there myself and writing business, realizing that they weren't, even if they wrote something, even if they were making sales, somebody else would come in, a broker that had better products would come in and replace their business. They weren't able to stay. So I thought to myself, should I take this opportunity or should I not? And this was a very difficult time in my life, in my marriage as well. So all these things were coming down on me right now. And the money, the status, it was all there right in front of me. But I decided to turn it down. And there's a few reasons. I didn't know there was anything else. The grass started to be greener on the other side. I looked at all these agents and I couldn't do these trainings anymore and tell them to go out there, work hard, knowing that even if they wrote business, if I wrote business, the clients could go down the street to another company and get something for a better price. The same coverages that we were talking about, now they can get it for a better price somewhere else. So instead of accepting this offer that I was worked for now 7 years, 8 years on, I decided to turn that down. And I actually got out of the business altogether because I thought that's all there was. This captive company, I was drinking the Kool-Aid for a long time, thinking that, hey, brokers, I would say brokers are broker than you. This is where it's at. This company around for over 100 years. So I told myself at that point that I wasn't going to get back into the business. And this actually started a really downward spiral in my life. A series of events that I find myself separated, 2 kids in at this point, and now my marriage was on the rocks. And it was all because I just didn't know, I wasn't being fulfilled. I didn't know where to go at this point in my life. This is what I knew. I knew baseball, and then I knew insurance. So I tried a couple other things. And then it came to a point where I was presented with an opportunity. And I didn't know if I wanted to take it, because I told myself I wasn't going to get back into the business if there wasn't a good marketing strategy, because I know that it takes 15 to 20 appointments for an agent, whether they're new or an experienced agent, to really be successful. Because out of those appointments, you're not going to see 100% of them. So I decided that I was going to make sure that there was a good marketing strategy so agents could be successful. They weren't just going to be spaghetti thrown to the wall to see if they stuck. So here I am in my early 30s, trying to decide whether I want to do this or not, take this opportunity on or not. Now, this was a brokerage company, an independent brokerage company. The company's American Senior Benefits. We work with over 100 companies. It was a learning curve. And it was something that I said, hey, if I can have other companies and the best products on the market, this would be a lot better, not only for me, but for any agents that I'm working with. Also, there needed to be a good training program, top of the line training program. So the opportunity that I was offered is to run a local branch, which was in Las Vegas. And we can spread to California into different areas. But for me, those were the main three topics, or the main 3 categories I need to make sure that I had in place, so that 90% of agents that were failing wasn't my reality moving forward. That I could be fulfilled knowing that it wasn't just me going out there making money or having status, but it was my passion for actually helping people, helping agents as a sales manager. So at this point, I decided to take the opportunity. And in 1 year, I was able to implement a system that I had run before, but now make it on a scale of not just me, but a multitude of different agents could run this system and be successful. So in 2016, I was able to utilize this marketing strategy of the preset appointments that I ran so long ago myself. And I was able to implement that in this office with all the products and all the most competitive companies on the market, so that I knew that whatever product that we put in place for a client was going to be the best on the market, and they couldn't go somewhere else and get anything better. But I also knew that I was doing the best service possible, and the agents that I was working with were going to provide the best services possible for our clients. Also, a training program, making sure, I can't tell you how many times I've seen agents 2-3 years in the business and don't know the simple fundamentals of products, and they're going out there writing policies and they don't really know how the policy works. I didn't want that to happen. I wanted to make sure that agents knew first how to uncover the true needs of the clients and not just push products onto clients that they may or may not need, trying to sell it. When I was in sales in the first 3 years, clients would tell me, or prospects would tell me, "You're a really good salesperson." And I would take it as a compliment initially. But I realized later they just felt like they were being sold. And I didn't want that anymore. I wanted to be at a place where they felt like they were getting something that they needed to make sure to take care of gaps and exposures that they had later on in their retirement or their retirement planning. So at that point, I was able to lay a foundation of training to walk through not just fact-finding the correct way, but also the products that we would need to fill those goals and gaps. But there was still a problem that was happening at that office and at many offices, and I know if you're an insurance agent watching it, you deal with the same things, and that's not having enough people to see. So how do we solve this problem? So at this point, it's about making sure that we could have enough appointments to see, making sure we had a system to have enough calls, to have enough contacts to set those appointments. And this is where we implemented the preset system, the preset appointment system. This is not us buying preset appointments from another company charging $40, $50 or more dollars per appointment. This was owning the system, creating the system to where we can have appointment setters calling, doing what they do best, while insurance agents were training and in the field, in front of people, helping them solidify plans of protection on a much bigger scale, seeing enough people to really make this business successful. So if you could see 15 to 20 appointments, what could you do per week, per month, per year? How would that change what you're doing right now in the system that you're running right now? Well, I'll tell you some of the agents that were in that office when I started, what we were able to accomplish. Every agent that was in that office when I came in, they were able to at least double their income from the previous year. Our top 20-year seasoned veteran was able to more than double his previous year's production. We had a captive agent, 17-year seasoned veteran, come over to us that year and make more money in 2016 than he made in any previous year in his insurance career. So this is a system that works. We had new agents coming aboard, being able to go out and see people, not just getting ready to make calls on the phone, buying these expensive leads. We weren't in the leads business. We were in the people business. We were in the getting agents to be successful in helping our clients' business. And the only way to do that is to have a marketing strategy where we can see the amount of people we need to be successful. So this was it. This was the huge breakthrough, game-changing system that helped us move from the usual, how this insurance business was ran before, making those cold calls that nobody wanted to do because, let's get real, it sucks. Nobody wants to sit in a cubicle surrounded by other cubicles and other agents calling the same list that you are. Nobody wants to buy $20, $30, $40 leads just to have other people calling those leads, other agents, and competing with other agents for exclusive leads. So if you buy 20 leads, you're probably going to get a hold of 10 to 12 of those and set 5 to 8 appointments if you're decent on the phone. So that really translates into having 1 to 2 sales per week if you're lucky. So again, this is the old way. It's still going on, but this has been a proven system over time, over the course of my career, that I've made a lot of money and helped other agents make a lot of money with this system. The preset appointment system that we've created is going to change things for a lot of agents and get to a place where you're seeing the amount of people, you're having the success that you set out in this business to have, the freedom that you want to have. What if you can do the same amount of work in 3 days that you do in 6 days right now? How would that change your life? What would that do? So that's what we created. My passion went from making a lot of money to having the status to being passionate about making a difference in the 90% of agents that are failing. And if you're in that 10%, utilize this system to get even more success, like our 20 or 17-year veteran agents. So I'm currently now married for 11 years, have 5 kids, and this business has been really great for me. It has provided so many. My daughter was 3 years old and she was a gold member on the cruise lines because of all the trips and all the things that we're able to do. And it comes down to this system. It comes down to seeing enough people. You probably remember being in an interview with your sales manager, them telling you, hey, you can make 6 figures in your first year. Well, it's possible. I never did that to anybody because I want to make sure that I'm transparent and that they knew what to expect, the hard part. Because if it were easy, everybody'd be doing it and we wouldn't make any money. It's the system that changes everything. You have to have a system. The 10% of agents that are successful, they have a system. The 90%, they either don't have a system or they're following somebody else's system that doesn't work. So again, my message to you in my story is that this insurance business can work. It can work really well and it can provide a great life. You can change your lifestyle. You can have the things that you want to have. I'm currently happily married. We got through it. We have wonderful kids, 5 kids. It's crazy around our house, but I wouldn't have it any other way. So go on this journey with us and put yourself in a position to be successful so that you don't have to keep going home and telling your family no. You get the no's so that you can tell your family yes. That they don't have to skip activities. They don't have to skip the things that you want them to have and you wanted them to have when you started being a parent. Or maybe you're young and you just want to have better things. You want to have a bigger house. You want to have whatever it is. Whatever the situation you find yourself in. I've gone through it over the 17 years that I've been in this business and experienced different things along the way. Wherever you're at on your journey, you could change it. You can go on another path and you can be successful. And that's what I want for you. Thanks for watching.